Hi everybody, I'm Bree the Plant Lady checking in with a weekly garden tour. We are officially in December and we are definitely back into our up and down temperature cycle. Last week we were in the 20s, then we got into the 70s. We have a relatively mild week this week and well, everything is growing really fast. So today I'm just gonna do a really quick spin around the garden, and then every day this week I'll be posting videos on everything that's germinating. So we're going to be doing a lot of seedling ID this week, including the good stuff and the bad stuff, because well, those winter weeds never go away and they aren't bothered at all by the cold temperatures. So let me turn this camera around and we will do a quick walk around here in my now zone 8 central North Carolina garden. Well, we'll start here in the driveway bed. As you can see, I have gotten the wall replanted, reoriented. The backside is empty. All those mangaves are under the house. And then I've got these nice, very bright, colorful containers here to greet me when I pull in. And of course, I've got my favorite thing in the world, floating flower arrangements, which are just such a great way to show what's blooming in the garden. I love the alstroemeria as the foliage element. Of course, camellias are in bloom and violas are always a great addition. This is just such an easy way to make a dynamic arrangement that lasts a long time. Having these outside, the flowers will actually persist a lot longer because the temperatures outside are cooler than inside your house. And you can see that the covering of all the containers made a big difference. There's no cold damage at all on the cauliflowers or the snapdragons. Of course, 20 degrees definitely hit like some of these plants that are marginally hardy. Now, I have no doubt that this Justicia will continue to be perennial. This is definitely in a special microclimate here with this south-facing exposure, protected by the house, surrounded by the concrete from the driveway. But I do plan to go through and do some major cutbacks in this bed, including the Justicia, the Kufia, and the papyrus that is growing here in a pond. And I just cut this way down and just makes it look a lot neater and tidier for the winter. I don't really like the look of all the dead kind of, dried out stuff. And I'm going to leave everything in the native borders, but over here, I'm going to go ahead and do a big cleanup. And then, of course, seeding for this south-facing border. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to do videos that really dive deep into all the seedling ID. But just so you can see here, this is the lupin. This is all part of the spicy greens mix. That looks to be like a lot of kale, but I know there was mustard and arugula also mixed in. I've got lots of poppies germinating and larkspur right here. So there's a lot of different stuff going on. This is precisely what makes it a cottage garden, is all of this stuff mixed together. Again, just for your reference, poppies. That's what the poppies look like at this stage. Now, I am sure that there are some bad things, and I actually think that might be chickweed, but I'm going to leave it until it gets a little bit bigger. It can be really difficult to distinguish the good and the bad when they're in their cotyledon leaf stage. The cages are definitely helping reduce the deer browse, but they're not eliminating where the cats are digging. So you can see there's bare spots, and that's actually from Sophia. But overall, I'm really pleased with the germination in here. You can see there's lettuce. These are the California poppies. I also did some lupins. You can see that foliage distinguished here. So the goal with this bed was to have things that weren't going to be so tall to make a mess in the pool. And I'm really, really pleased with how everything's looking here, minus the areas that Sophia has been, disturbing those seedlings. some more cat damage. But again, overall, lots and lots of poppies are germinating in here. So great to see. Everything here on the back porch looks great. I did not do anything to protect the broccolis in the tower garden, and I didn't need to. They look fine. You know, this is a definite microclimate here, having the extra warmth from the brick patio, southwest facing. And again, all of these pots, which I just did a few days ago, everything's looking good. You just have to make sure you keep everything watered. I would like to get the bananas cut back this week. I got a cabbage patch planted here, have it protected. The deer have definitely been coming through and nibbling. They've been eating the kale. These are self-sown kales, and well, you can see where they've just been coming through and getting a little treat, which is fine. And the containers here look great. These snapdragons did get a little cold damage, but they're certainly not dead. They're just, their flowers got a little nipped. Again, like to do some cutbacks. I've got a big dead branch in my sequoia over there. You can see the powder blue blueberry is really showing off its late fall color. It's so beautiful. And well, everything in the back here is looking good. I've got a lot of citrus, and I've been looking up recipes to be able to use it. So when I come up with something awesome, I will definitely share. And all of the vegetables here are doing well. I've got them protected because the deer have been so persistent. I'd really like to be able to eat this broccoli and cauliflower and cabbage. You can see the broccolis are starting to head here, and those cabbages are really getting some nice size on them. I'm hoping I'll be able to have some of this to harvest for the upcoming holidays. And everything that we sowed back in October for the J.C. Ralston foodscaping class is doing really well. You can see, I believe these are wheat, clumps of wheat, and then arugula and kale, some of the spicy green mix. Of course, the garlic edges are all doing great. And I have my tomato cage with the burlap sacks stashed here just to have them on hand for the next time the temperatures drop, so I can continue to protect anything that's marginally hardy, especially container plants. Well, you can see the late fall color on the Meta Sequoia or the Dawn Redwood planted here in the Woodland. And of course, the camellias are starting, and it's actually really early. This is one of my all-time favorites. This is Camellia japonica Roma Resorta. And it's an Italian cultivar from 1863. And I just love the pattern on the petals. I love the formal double characteristic. And of course, I'll definitely be floating these in arrangements. Other camellias are starting to show color on their buds, which is really exciting. And well, you know, this is just a great time of year for all these late fall, early winter blooming plants like camellias. This is another great one, a lost tag. I don't know the cultivar of this, but a really abundant flowering form. And of course, more buds coming here. And I'm really pleased to see that I've got some flowers on some of the camellias that got planted this summer here into this woodland border. So everything is kind of starting for the winter season, which is really encouraging. I haven't done any work out here in the woodland, but I really am pleased with all the stuff that we got planted this summer. And I'm looking forward to having some free time to get out here and really start playing and coming up with a bigger plan for the woodland as a whole. As we come along here, I haven't done any seeding in this border yet, and to be honest, there's not a lot of room, but I will be overseeding poppies hopefully in the next few days. I've got some hydrangeas that need to get planted, and I have tons and tons of stuff that's self-sowing, both good and bad. Remember, I'm gonna do more videos this week to really give you an up-close view of what's growing. But we've got a lot of nigella and a fair amount of larkspur. That would be this rounder leaf. And, well, a lot of weeds. So this bed definitely needs some finessing. So stay tuned for updates. Well, you can see the October Magic Bride Camellia is in full bloom. It's recovering from the cold snap last week. You see the damaged flowers, that was from the 20 degrees, but new buds are opening. So really, really wonderful. This is a great plant from Southern Living Plant Collection. And the cabbages planted along this walkway are all doing well. See here, I've been protecting them. And then I wanted to show you an update from this border, which we planted during the seed sale and cottage gardening demo, and everything is germinating. It's really exciting. You see lots and lots of germination, and of course the grains are starting to come up. So this border is going to be awesome. I do have some more room to plant garlic, and that is on my to-do list this week. I'd like to get this entire border planted to help with the mammal browse. I'm also thinking I'm going to go ahead and do the cutback on the phlox. In years past, I've waited, but I really think that I would just prefer for this to be cleaned up. I don't cut it back so hard. I use the electric lawnmower, but what I need to do is cut it back so that I can deal with all of the chickweed that is super abundant in the ground plane here. I'd really like to try and stop that chickweed by preventing it from going back to seed. I mentioned the alstroemeria in the floating arrangements. Here it is growing in the garden. And it went completely dormant this summer, disappeared because it was so hot and so dry. So I'm really relieved to see that it's bounced back, and it's definitely doing really well. And it is one of my all-time favorite elements for winter floating flowers. And you could see the Chinese fringe tree is really starting to get on its fall color. This is always one of the last trees to lose its leaves. And I'm super happy to say that the winter sweet is starting to bloom. And, you know, this is one that doesn't have extraordinarily showy flowers, but they're so fragrant. It is actually just one of my all-time favorite late fall bloomers because the fragrance is so remarkable. You can just bring in a small branch and your entire house will smell good. And making my way up here, I'm going to definitely do some cutbacks on the echinacea and all the hedychiums that are planted in here. Again, I plan to mow down the phlox patches. And of course, top on my list is to get the wave cleared once and for all and reseeded. So definitely stay tuned for updates on that. And I'm so excited to show you the front borders. First of all, we've done a really great job, I think, on decorating for the holidays. And we got these really cool flowers from Airlie Gardens last week down in Wilmington. And it just exemplifies the concept that this is a cottage garden. So when they light up at night, it is so awesome. But then also wanted to show you lots of germination. So we did this also during the seed sale and cottage gardening demo. You see clumps of grains are germinating and lots of seedlings everywhere. Just pan down. This is like basically just erupted and really difficult to distinguish one plant from another at this stage. But what I'm really aiming to see is just that ground plane coverage, which I see in full force and definitely makes me very happy. Well, everybody, I look forward to sharing more updates with you this week. I am running late. I have got to get over to Weston Farms. I am going to be a garland magnolia elf today. So I've got to get out of Fuquay and actually get over to the workshop. But I do look forward to sharing more videos this week, especially focusing on seedling ID, so that all of you will know what is growing in your gardens as you've been sowing your seeds. Well, everybody, thanks so much for watching, and happy gardening.